Yo, what it do, what's going on, Q? You said what? Damn, cuz. You gotta take care of that, B. You don't wanna walk around looking like motherfucking ODB. Mouth all fucked up. Shit, we live about to post in the chat now and shit. So everybody know we live, man. And then once we do that, we good to go. Alright, yo, what it do, Salute to the PML family, Gaming Wild Black Squad. It's your man, Drama Man, coming to y'all with a post-game drama interview. Week 5, we with Q, Quentin Gaddett, the coach of the LA Chargers, man, coming off of a victory versus division rival Oakland Raiders. Game of the week, seeing as though it was a matchup between two of the top teams in the league's most contentious division. Can't say the best division, but definitely the league's most contentious division, with everybody, every season, 3 teams vying for playoff spots and vying for division dominance. As we look at the total here, we see that the final score was 37-24. Just briefly looking over the stats, 330 yards on the ground, 91 yards passing, 1 turnover to 4. 1 turnover for the Chargers to 4 turnovers for the Raiders. 421 total yards gained. Melvin Gordon on the ground, 327 yards. Now, I'm not sure if that's a career day for Melvin Gordon, but you definitely had your way with the Raiders on the ground. Coach Q, first, thanks for coming on with us. And did you have anything that what was the statement that you wanted to make with this victory here over the Raiders, and coming out with the victory and the way that you were able to go about getting that victory? Do you feel like that statement was made?
Well, first off, appreciate you having me on the show, man. I know you wanted to get me on here before, but it was kind of tough to do it after a loss. So it feels good to do it after a win. But, definitely had to go in there and make a statement. Last 2 times I played Kurt last season, dropped those games. Me and Kurt always had a rivalry. So whenever we do play, it's always a competitive matchup, always a statement game. And, like you said, especially with our division being the toughest, it definitely means a lot to me to win that game. So just going in, kind of just based off how you already started, how the stats played out, of course, we're going to give it to Melvin Gordon. And just to start off the game, we got him to go 3 and out, first play to Melvin. I was running it in practice probably for like an hour before the game even started against the same defense that he called it against. And so I knew I had to make one man miss, made him miss, and he took it all the way. And so at that point, I kind of knew that it was going to be my game, just because how we came out on defense and then able to get that big run and started off. We had the momentum behind us. And I said before I even played the game that I didn't want to play this game from behind, because every time I play Kurt, I get in a position where I'm playing from behind, and it's extremely hard to throw into his defense because he has a great user. Got some great guys, probably one of the best linebacking cores in PML. So we definitely wanted to take that pressure off Winston, run the ball with Melvin, and he put the team on his back. I mean, there was some times where he was going to get stopped in the backfield, and for like a 2-yard loss, and somehow we got out of it and turned it into an 8-yard gain. So leaning on the MVP, but no, that's not his best game. He did get like 440 yards against the Bills. So that would be his career high, but we about 100 yards short of that. So, but yeah, nonetheless, a statement win, and I just feel like we played good. We played good defense, and I feel like that's what won us the game. And going into the third quarter, he only had 3 completed passes. So when you're going up against a guy that loves to throw, and he's been successful throwing, and he only has 3 completed passes, even though he did have a dev story, so that may be why he ran more. But 3 completed passes going into the third quarter, that's more than just Melvin Gordon. That's the defense putting pressure on him, knowing his plays. I basically felt like I was in the offensive huddle some plays because I already knew what was coming, so it made it a little bit easier to defend, especially when you know what those targets are on those plays. So, nonetheless, we did make an adjustment, put Desmond King out there for all game against Terry. He had about 3 deflections. Terry went off as usual. I think he had like 2 touchdowns, but we contained him enough to where he didn't get out of control, and that's all we wanted to do since Metcalf was out. But now I'm happy, man. But it's only one game. We got Cookie Boy next week, so we back in the lab looking instead.
So now, if I could, speaking about your defense, and watching the game, there were definitely some things that I could tell that you were keen.
You cut out. I can't
Yeah,
hear you.
my bad, my bad. I was saying, watching the game, I could definitely tell that there were some things that you were keying in on, and some things that you were looking to take away from him offensively. Would you say that this was more or less just a familiarity that you have with Kurt, or was it film study?
Yeah,
Was it your
it's definitely a combination of both. I mean, even though I played Kurt 8 times, which is more, and Fallen and Mike, because those are my division mates. Yeah, you get the familiarity playing, but not only that, even though I know that I still watch tape because I want to see if there's any new wrinkles. There was definitely some plays he threw at me that I hadn't seen, but we played well. But I think I adjusted, and I think it was a couple times I called man defense when I knew he was running verticals, and he usually gets a big play on that, but he was just he had nowhere to go. He had 4 verticals, he was forced to throw it up, and it was just I think those nuances of the game just really make it a lot better, a lot easier, because you're never surprised going in there knowing what it is. But yeah, we knew. It was, can we stop it at that point? Can we stop it because we know what's coming?
Okay, and it's definitely a good place where you know what's coming and you know that you have the right defense called. You just need your players to make plays. Do you feel like his offense is not as versatile when you take away the corners and the posts? If we could just do a little bit of analysis, if people go back and watch the streams, I mean, you were keying in on all of the corner routes and all of the post routes. Did you feel that if you were able to take away those options, that you would be able to, well, of course it's limiting his offense, but did you feel like he wouldn't have another option? Because all the interceptions that you had, it seemed like they all came on plays where he was going for a corner or going for a post. So on those third down situations, did your play calling dictate we're going to force him to do something other than get a post over the middle or get a corner out on the outside?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, on third down, whether we was in a cover 2 shell or cover 3, we was always playing outside, and I always playing for those corner routes. I wasn't too worried about him throwing it up in one-on-one coverage, just because he didn't have decaf. So I kind of sometimes, I put that spotlight on Terry to where he'd get covered by 2 guys if he did go on a streak. But it was all about taking away those corner routes and the out routes. I didn't want him to get any of those. I would much rather him go across the middle, and that's where I use my user. So if they get in the inside, I use it the inside, let the CPU play the outside, which is a pretty basic defensive plan. And then just with that, it just kind of worked out for me because he doesn't throw drags. He doesn't have a dump off option. It's just not how he plays. That's not something he's big on. He's throw downfield one play, so I could kind of get away from worrying about that underneath and more so worry about just the corners outside and then user in the middle.
I got you. I got you. Now I see you were able to get an interception with both of your rookie cornerbacks. Yeah, Jamal Hill had an interception. Fred Davis had an interception. From last year to this year, what would you say is the biggest adjustment that you've been able to make with your defense? Adding some more players to your secondary, and improving upon what you have in the middle of your defense with your linebackers. What would you say is the biggest adjustment you've been able to make with the improvements that you've made in your secondary?
Well, of course, Jamal Hill, big improvement, getting him out of free agency. I think we drafted like 29th, and he was a superstar after. We had a ton of great cornerbacks in that draft, and I lucked up and got the one that had the superstar dev. And then, he was coming out there to replace Desmond Trufant, much older guy, but, more than a suitable replacement. Guys like 6'1" with 91 speed, 93 excel, big body. So he definitely adds another lockdown type of a presence on the opposite side of the field that Desmond King isn't on, which I didn't have before. So I can definitely cover, just have that presence on both sides of the field. But I think one thing that I did definitely, not only getting those guys, because Fred Warner, he's a fast guy, rookie. I wish I had more time to put Devin to him, but not only getting those guys, just kind of watching my games over and just seeing the mistakes I make. Like, especially one of the things I was terrible at was like when I do play cover three, I would kind of play the linebacker a lot. And the only thing that's bad about that, people love to throw the vertical seam. So that side that safety is coming up to play that purple zone, he's not going to play that vertical. So I just got a lot better at, being comfortable playing my safeties when they have underneath coverages or not deep coverages, and kind of taking away that vertical, showing for that, and then coming down to play that crossing route or out route or in route, whatever they decide to do with it. So shout out to Jamal Hill. He got a fumble in the fourth quarter as well on the last drive for the Raiders to try to get back into the game. So yeah, I mean, that guy's a monster. Wish I had more time with him, but he out there getting it done, so I can't complain, man. I'm happy. The defense is playing amazing. Yeah, it's going good right now on defense.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So I definitely, like I said, definitely saw an adjustment in your defense, an ability, like you said, making the adjustment, moving from linebacker to safety, in key situations to make sure you take away some of the things that he likes to go to. Let's talk about your offense a little bit. You've been criticized. I didn't say criticized, but it's almost quiet as kept that you would prefer to run the ball. You prefer to run the ball, and when forced to pass, it makes things a little bit, it's just not your comfort zone. I'm not gonna say you're not able to move the ball through the air, because you had 9 completions for 11, 9 out of 10. I mean 9 out of 11. 81% completions. You did throw an interception. Jameis Winston only had 99 yards, so there was a lot of short throws. But have you gotten to a place now where you're not going to let the talk bother you, where you have this running? And then let me also say this. Let me give you an opportunity to clear the air about your ability to utilize Melvin Gordon. Melvin Gordon is not the best running back in the league. He's the top 3. He is a 99 overall, but the other guys who have top elite running backs are not successful running the ball like you are with Melvin. Just take a chance to speak about how it's not Melvin, but it's you that creates the opportunities that you have with him running in the backfield. Just give us a little bit of just respond a little bit to the haters who say that you only get by because of Melvin Gordon. And what is it that you do offensively that makes your running game so effective, or is it just that you have Melvin Gordon?
Yeah, I mean, a large part of it, I won't say a large part of it, but half part of it is because I have Melvin Gordon. Don't get me wrong, he's a great back, but he doesn't have joystick. He only has jukebox. So when he's out there getting sticky and I'm maneuvering through those holes, that's all me. And like you said, he's not the best back in the league, but I still find a way to get it done at a high level, even when it's coming. So it's not a lot of people I feel in the league that can take the Chargers and Melvin Gordon and mimic what I'm doing as far as offensively when it comes to running the ball with Melvin Gordon. It's just not a lot of people. It does still take a skill to be able to run, juke, read the holes, come up with something when they are stacking the line, and keep my passes short. I mean, I'm one of those guys, and I think Cookie kind of said it. Shout out to Cookie. I probably have one of the most sim run attacks, because even though all I'm going to do is run, I'm not going to keep spamming you with the same run play over and over. I'm not going to keep – now, you might get the same concept. You might get a dive out of 2 different formations in a row, but you're not going to get that same formation, that same run play twice. So I think I like the fact that people want to stop the run and they can't. And I feel like that kind of puts pressure on them to do more to stop it. And, I'm one of those guys. I sit in practice, and I literally will run the same run play for an hour just so I can feel every hole, every gap, what to do in this situation. And that's just kind of how I practice it. It's not easy, because if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. And the reason why my pass game, I feel like, I mean, outside of I make some terrible reads, But I just don't have any fast receivers. My fastest receiver over 80 is like 91 speed, 90 excel. So I don't really have those opportunities to get that deep ball. If I have to pass, it's something short, a drag, or something I have to scheme in, which I feel like is a lot easier. I mean, a lot harder to do because everybody's pressing me. So it's not like they giving my cornerback space and then I'm throwing it underneath. I'm getting pressed. I'm getting stacked boxes, stacked lines, and still getting it done. And I mean, I don't know at what point you put some respect on it, but you know, it is what it is.
Well, listen, they have to put some respect on it because you're demanding that they put respect on it. You know, the numbers speak for themselves. You know what I mean? And y'all heard it here first on Post Game Drama. For all you young fellas out there, if you want to learn how to hit them holes right, you got to go and practice. Hours and hours of practice, and then you can learn how to hit them holes like a pro. You understand?
Hey man, I'm telling you, it's a finesse to it because like I be saying it before the play even like start. Like I be saying, okay, this guy gonna take this guy gonna take this. And I feel like most people do that, but I feel like my reaction to it is a lot different. It's only a few guys that's gonna get somebody in the backfield and be able to juke out of that just because their reaction time is like that.
I got you.
So yeah.
I got you. Speaking about the knowing how to maneuver versus different type of defensive looks, do you feel that guys knowing that you're going to run and them game planning to stop the run works in your favor sometimes? Do you feel like
I feel like it definitely does because I'm a run regardless, but I feel like the way they play my pad, the way they kind of press me and force me to throw short, because I mean that's what I'm gonna do anyway. I feel like that works I would feel like it works for me because I'm able to pass out of those run sets a lot easier. And then when I do pass or when I do come out in a set to pass, people just kind of throwing off. Like, they just be like, okay, what this guy finna do? And so if I can be successful and be consistent and not throw interceptions, like that interception I threw in that game against Kurt that we just played, I picked a PA crosses play that I never used. I motioned the outside receiver all the way to the other side. I was gonna put him on a slant, put the tight end that was in between the slant and the cross on the vertical. And I hit X, and he stayed on his little post route. So he's on the outside with a post route going to the sideline. And I just hit X on accident. And then so my eyes just glued to him instantly. I'm like, as soon as he make this cut, it don't matter. I'm just throwing it up there. One-on-one. He going to have to catch it, or it's just going to be an incomplete pass. And, I think that was me kind of maybe it was me being a little avocado or light skin. Because the killer in me should have been like,
run it,
man. Take the check down, do something else. But since I was up on Kurt then, and I think I had a 2-possession lead at time, I was like, man, I could just take this chance. So that's one of the things I got to learn from that. You can't, just because you make a mistake, it's still a better option outside of me throwing that pick in that situation and then just giving him the ball back. But yeah, even then, I mean, yeah.
But I wanted to also ask you about that because I remember when you made the turnover. I believe it was in either the third quarter or the fourth quarter. You made a turnover and you were up a couple scores, and it was kind of like, why would he do that? Why not just run the ball? Why not just continue to, do what works? Right. Do you feel like there's a itch, in the midst of a game, and we all have experienced this, playing this game where it's kind of like you want to stick it to him, where it's like, I know I could do this, but I want to show you that I can do this other thing too.
I don't think that ever. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I don't think that. Maybe when I first started playing, yeah. But now, man, so much stuff can happen in Madden that you don't want to play with the tight booty hole, as we say, but at the same time, you still want to be aggressive and put that pressure on them. And when you allow me to put that pressure on you with Melvin Gordon, that's just, my life is easy. So I really didn't have to throw that to put pressure on him. It was just me being light skinned. I feel like it just being like, either he gonna catch it or it's gonna be deflected. And it's crazy because I was just talking with Z-Star and we was talking about how one-on-one catches, the defender has a 75% chance of getting an interception versus the receiver catching it, and I still threw it. So, you know, those type of mental errors, when you go back and you lose a game, those are things you look at and be like, why did I do that? So the biggest thing in my game, the number one thing in my game that I focus on is not making those type of mistakes. And when you limit mistakes and put the pressure on your opponent, you get tough to beat.
I got you. So, I mean, I visited all the schedules before the season, and the AFC West is definitely up against it this year with you guys playing the NFC North and we're playing within your own division. We got a pretty tough slate coming up. You got the Dolphins next on the road. You got the Bears, then the bye week, then you got the Raiders again, and the Chiefs. From your first 5 games, you know, you had 2 losses starting out. With where you are now in your offense and your defense, with things clicking on all cylinders, how confident are you going into next week with versus the Dolphins? Now the Dolphins have some injuries. Saquon Barkley is out. I believe his outside linebacker is injured as well, but he does have Deshaun Watson now. Why the fuck am I forgetting this cat's name? Deshaun Watson, right?
Yeah, Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, he has Deshaun Watson. He's got DeAndre Hopkins. How confident are you going into next week versus the Dolphins? And what have you seen? Not what have you seen. Have you seen things versus him playing? I mean, with him playing your division opponents, your division rivals. Have you seen things in those games that you feel are going to allow you to be able to, you know, work some things to your advantage?
Yeah, I've seen that. My divisional rivals like myself have played hard against Cookie Boy, and then we let them come back in the end. So somebody needs to break that tradition, and I'm gonna try my best for it to be me. He doesn't have Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley in the AFC Champ game, we kept him pretty quiet all game, but then he got a one-play touchdown to put Cookie Boy up in that game off of a counter. So he's not gonna have that threat. So we're not too worried about the run game. So now the attention focuses to the Deshaun Watson escape artist and to D-Hop. So I feel like we play good defense when we play them, and I feel like it's going to be a close game. It's going to be a good game. And I feel like it's going to come down to if I can stay, if I can keep a lead, because, it just looks like Cookie Boy is just going to stay on the theme of, you know, coming from behind. So I'm sure I'll have my chance to have the lead, and it's, can I hold that lead, or will I get the tight booty hole? Will I nut up? Will I not be aggressive because I do have the lead? Because we've seen multiple times him come back in situations like that. So if we just stick to what we do best, Melvin Gordon stays healthy, try to stay away from Caden Stearns, I'm pretty confident that we can go in there and win the game. But, you know, I'm looking forward to that matchup. Either way, it's going to be a good one. But if we do win this one, honestly, it's probably not that many more games on my schedule that I'm really worried about. So after that, you know, I still do have to play the Chiefs, Titans, and the Raiders. Bills, just, you know, some games that could go either way, I guess. But I feel like right now all our focus is on Cookie Boy. This is a big game, and I need to win this one.
All right. And another theme going into the game next week versus the Dolphins is redemption. This is a team that knocked you out of the playoffs last year. You know what I'm saying? You were in the conference finals. Had an opportunity to go to the Super Bowl, and you had the lead, and like you said, he was able to come back. So to get over that hurdle versus the Dolphins is going to be major for you. Also going to be major for your standing in the division, seeing as though he's beaten everyone else. Has he played the Chiefs yet? Or he's beaten the Raiders and beaten the Broncos? Has he played the Chiefs?
He hasn't played the Chiefs yet. They don't play until week 15.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, it's just going to be a big game for you. And hopefully you come out with the victory. Again, y'all heard it here first. It's not just Melvin Gordon, but Quentin's got the stick skills. He's going to run it down your throat. He's going to juke. He's going to woggle. He's going to do his thing. Congratulations on the victory. Standing now at 3-2. Next week you got the Dolphins. That might be another game of the week. So hopefully, if you're successful in that one, maybe we'll be doing this again next week. Q, I appreciate you coming on here and rapping with me and just giving us a little bit of insight into your game plan versus the Raiders, and what you saw going in, and what you were able to be successful with. Any last statements that you want to make to the league or to anybody in particular concerning Q, Gordon, and the Chargers this season?
No. We take every game one game at a time, and we got a long season to go. So I'm excited to see what happens. I'm excited to play these other teams on the schedule and put myself against some of the best competition that Madden has to offer. So I'm excited about that. But appreciate you having me on the show, man, giving me a voice to talk about, that little victory against Kurt, getting Kurt ass real quick. Yeah,
sure.
What you talking about? But everybody stay safe out there and be blessed.
Hey, for sure. Thanks, Q. Appreciate it. Hey, salute to the PML family. It's your man, Drama Man. That was Quentin Got It, the coach of the Chargers. We all know him as Q. Salute to the Game of Wild Black family. I'll holler at y'all.